Hello everyone. So as we all know, lately the RAM prices have gone quite crazy. I was looking for some more RAM for my laptop, and what used to cost around 700 kroners a few years ago for 32 gigabytes now cost 2.2 thousand. 700 kroners is roughly $100. Now 2.2 is roughly, what's it, $300. So it's a huge increase for RAM for 32 gigabytes, and in this laptop I do want 64 gigabytes, which would cost me, almost 5,000 kroners, 4,500. So instead I was looking online to see if I can find a deal, and I did indeed find a deal. Now this looks like it's from AliExpress, but it's actually not. I was looking on, we have here in Denmark, we have a website called Price Runner, which is like a price comparison site between different stores. And I could see a Kingston Value RAM 32 gigabytes was listed for $599. And then you could see below it was one called Pro Sub, which was 2.2 thousand. So a bit of a price difference. Now you might be thinking, okay, it's probably some sketchy website selling it. And it kind of was. I'll put a screenshot up of what it looked like. You might notice it's something called Sports World, which is, I think it's the company who owns Sportsmaster, which is a large sports equipment store, or like sports gear. Not equipment, but like shoes and elbow protectors and that sorts of stuff. They apparently sell RAM. I don't know if they're supposed to sell RAM, because it looked like, if you look at the categories, it's under UHC, female, friends and family, and then technology. And if you look at the the category itself, and you scroll down, you start seeing like CPUs and monitors and all sorts of weird stuff that's not supposed to belong there. So what I think happened is they have a category, they buy a catalog from someone else, and that catalog has some things that are not categorized correctly, and so they end up importing wrong products because they're not in the correct category from whoever they're buying the catalog from. It's probably my guess to what happened, but I don't know. I bought it because it was cheap. I bought 2 of them, and hopefully that's what I have in this bag. I don't know what they sent me, because they might as well have sent me something else and not known what it was, but this product was listed as $599, and I thought, I mean, it's a real website and it's a real store, so what could I lose? If they send me the wrong thing, I'll get my money back. So let's crack in and see what I got. Okay, and there's a little piece of paper, probably the order slip. So if we look at the paper that's included, I've just folded it so you can't see the barcode. But yeah, it looks to have the correct product name. At least it has 32 in it, indicating 32 gigabytes, and then obviously 2 pieces. So so far so good. So here we have the RAM itself, wrapped in bubble wrap, quite thick bubble wrap. I can see through it, and I can see that there is indeed some what looks like Kingston packages inside. Yep, those are the classic Kingston packaging. Get rid of that. Also get rid of that. So I'm gonna try to keep the packaging as intact as I can, in case this is the wrong thing or it's defective. So yeah, it's I don't remember the model number off the top of my head of what it was supposedly supposed to be, but I mean, it looks correct. Yeah, so this is what's on the back side. Is quite funny. It says it's a one size. Of course it's black, but yeah, that's what's just funny. It's a one size fits all. It looks correct because it's supposed to be a 5600. So this 5 is probably DDR5, and then 5600, and then I don't know what that is. It's probably dual rank and then I don't know the 8 what that is, and then yeah, 32 gigs. So I'm gonna try to keep. I want to try to keep the packaging intact in case, you know, if they sold me something that's garbage and doesn't work. Which I don't know. Maybe they didn't update their pricing. It was suspiciously cheap compared to, you know the RAM pricing has gone absolutely crazy. So that was why, like, it was suspiciously cheap. But I thought I'll buy 2 of them. I can always get my money back. But yeah, I don't know. They didn't update it because. Yeah, maybe they're importing the catalog from somebody else. Maybe it might also be that they just, for some reason, have it because they maybe bought it for some laptops and then they didn't need it and then they decided to sell it. But they also have monitors and CPUs and like it just seems weird. Come on, stop. Thank you. Okay, so here's one of them. Came out. I'm just gonna, yep, there we go. There we got the RAM, and, okay, too much. So I finally got the RAM out of the packaging. That was quite annoying to do. But yeah, it looks the same as it does in the picture. So we have, 8 blocks on each side, and then we have the controller here. The next step is taking my laptop here and putting the RAM in. I'm gonna remove the USB receiver, get a screwdriver, get the correct bit. And on older generations of ThinkPads, you also used to have to remove the SIM card tray. But on this one, which is a T14 Gen 6, you actually don't have to remove the SIM card tray because it's, if you look on the, no, it's not on the back, it's on the side. The panel actually ends here. So this SIM card tray is below where the panel separates, which is nice. But yeah, of course you still have to check. So, what my usual method is to start from the back corner here. Don't really think it matters where you start, and I always did a classic where, no, actually on the top here it goes all the way, but on the next to the hinges it goes not all the way. So I was about to say I messed up because that's how you used to do it on the old ones, but yeah, you still do that. And then I just run it along the edges, and the back is usually pretty easy. Then you get to side here. I don't know, the clips are not making that much noise. Usually they make some loud crunches. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Great camera work. I just move the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm just removing the clips along the edge, popping those out, and yep, I think we're all done. Yep, comes right off, and yeah, I think the RAM. It's not that I think. I know that the RAM is under this here. So you just pull up, and there we go. So here's the RAM that used to be in here. Here's the original RAM. And if we take it out, we can see it's still a 8 module on the one side, but it's empty on the other side. So it might be like a single rank one. And this is a 16 gigabyte SK Hynix, which originally came with the laptop. Now it's time to insert the RAM and see if it works. Okay, for some reason it's very tight. I think that's the old RAM. Let's see, does that go? It goes the same way. Okay. Doesn't sound great. I don't know why the clips are usually not that stiff, but yeah. And a quick check that you can make after is look at the connectors and make sure the distance is the same through the whole thing, where you can like move your field of view around, and then you can see if it's plugged in correctly and straight. Let's just put the shield back. There's not really a reason to test it before we put this back. And I think let's go the other way. It might go this way. Yeah, it goes this way. Okay. And it has to seat correctly into all the little grooves on the side. There we go, and there we go, and there we go. Cool. So we can just really quickly connect it to some power, just to turn it on, if I can find the ports. There we go, should be good enough. And let's see. We'll go into the BIOS. Okay, that's not good. So it's doing something. It doesn't look like an error code, it looks like it's loading. So it's probably training the memory. We'll have to be patient because it's the first time it's booting with this RAM. And it is 64 gigabytes, so it might take a while. Maybe this is an error code, but it looks more like it's loading. Which is actually nice. Usually when you're training RAM, you just get absolutely nothing and you think it doesn't work until suddenly it posts. And many people, they say like, oh, it doesn't work, and then they switch back and give up. But all you have to do is wait a couple minutes. It is surprising how long you have to wait, but yeah, it worked. I was getting nervous. I was like, totally forgot about that step where it has to do that. So I was like, oh shit, it doesn't work. But yeah, let's not jinx it, but at least we got a post trying to get into the BIOS. Okay. And we can actually see it has recognized all the RAM. You can see right here that the installed memory is 65,000 megabytes. So yeah, so far so good. Let's try to boot into Windows and see. Well, let's not do that. Let's put the bottom cover back on and then boot into Windows. Another upgrade I might do at some point is get a bigger SSD. I only have 500 gigabytes, and I do have an external SSD with 2 terabytes that I don't really need that much, because I can move that to another SSD, which is like a Samsung T7, so I can't use that internally, but I have like one of those NVMe USBs with a 2 terabyte, so I could move that over to the other one and then use that NVMe instead of this 500 gigabytes. So the reason I'm even upgrading this RAM is because I have a lot of VMs on my machine, and you might think, oh well, why don't you run it on a server? Well, it's because these VMs are obviously not production, they're personal testing VMs, so not for the real test environments, but more like if I want to test some software myself, I have a VM for it, and then I have some like test Active Directory things that I can mess around with no consequences, not breaking it for anyone else, and I can have snapshots so I can like quickly roll back without, you know, nobody else is impacted by it. And that I run locally on the laptop, because obviously the test environments, they run on a test server, but they obviously what do you say, other people also use it, which is fine for actually real test environments, but it's not fine for when I'm messing around with something and trying different things that might not be real, or how you say it. So I think all the clips are properly in, and I will just put in my USB dongle before I forget it. So yeah, let's go into Windows and see if it's all detected, and we might as well run a memory test. I do think I have mem test on a USB. I do have this Ventoy USB which might have mem test on it. I'm gonna have to do a secure boot thing, and this is Ventoy and it does support secure boot, because if I disable it I think it's gonna delete my BitLocker key. I don't want to mess around getting that set up again, so because I do have a legacy, not legacy, it's still UEFI, but like an old multi-boot which I know has mem test on it. I'm not sure if this one has mem test, we'll see. But obviously, since this is a work laptop, I do want to make sure that that it actually works. So I'm gonna run mem test on it, and this RAM, I'm just basically gonna keep it in this box, I guess, because yeah, when the laptop has to be replaced by my work, I want to, because this is my own RAM, obviously. I do want to switch it back to the original RAM, and then they can have the laptop as it was. And we can see. I'm just going to blur this, but go into Task Manager. Just full screen that. Now looking in Task Manager, we can also see that all 64 gigabytes are detected. And before, with only 16 gigabytes, when you load Windows, this graph is already like up here, because Windows itself and all the like Chrome uses so much. So yeah, let's try to boot into. So if you go on the secure boot, key management, and then I'm not quite sure if it's gonna be this one or this one. So I'm gonna try here. I think I'm gonna do enroll. Seems like it found a Ventoy, and we seem to have one here. Let's leave that blank. Okay, so it seems like that has worked. So if we go back, and back. I don't know if that's supposed to be the Ventoy thing, but yeah. Exit, and yes. Okay. So we're gonna try again. And yeah, again, the reason I'm not disabling secure boot is because it's going to mess with my BitLocker, and I don't want it to do that. So we're doing secure boot, which is always a pain, but yeah, that's how we're doing it. So Kingston, and hopefully, nope. So I did it wrong, I guess. And if this has secure boot, I don't know if it does or doesn't, but we'll just let it boot up with that. And if it doesn't, then yeah, then I'll just disable secure boot, and then, you know, take it back off of my key, and then enable it once we're done. And hopefully it should be fine. Yeah, I think we have completed. So yeah, let's try it. SanDisk, Cruiser Glide. Yep, it's the same problem. I'm just gonna grab my BitLocker key and then I'll turn off Secure Boot. So I did take a backup of my BitLocker key, just in case turning Secure Boot back on doesn't enable BitLocker again. Yeah, we're gonna try reboot, turn off Secure Boot and see what happens. Back into security. Just turn that off. F10 to exit. And let's see. Should be able to boot now. If not, then, well, heck, I don't know. Yay, it worked. Okay, so we'll just find the mem test. So it should be, oh, there it is. Just do whatever, regular mode. Okay, so that didn't. Boot file not found. Wait, it should support UEFI, it claims to. Yeah, we'll just do the actual mem test USB instead. That's the that one. That should work. I don't know. Sometimes Ventoy is just a bit finicky. Works great as an all-rounder, but for specialty things, it kinda. What the heck is going on? What the fuck? What? I've not seen that before. It's like, what was that? That was weird. Oh, damn it. Clicked the wrong thing. Yeah, of course that doesn't work. Okay, let's click the right thing this time. And let's see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, seems to be working now. One thing, this is gonna run overnight. And I do have a charger here in the background, so I'm just gonna grab a USB-C to USB-C cable that's hopefully capable of I need a 60 watt cable, which I do think I have. It can't just be one of those crappy ones. I do have one. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, okay, didn't have to do anything. So yeah, I'm just gonna plug it into the charger. And this is a 45 watt PD charger, so it should be plenty. This laptop prefers 60, but it's not gonna get that. There we go. So plugged in, and it does light up on the side, and the mem test is running. So yeah, I'll just let this run overnight, and then can show you the result. Hopefully it does work. I mean, it's Kingston RAM. It seems to be pretty genuine. So yeah, I just put the original RAM in this box. I'll keep it around because whenever this laptop has to be exchanged or something, I'm gonna put in this original and keep my own RAM because I paid for it myself. This is my job's RAM, and also the laptop is also their laptop, so I'm keeping my own RAM if it has to be exchanged. Alright, it's now the next day, and as you can see, the memory test has passed, and well, now it's time to find out if I need to reset the BitLocker or if that just works after enabling secure boot again. I think I'm gonna have to enter the passcode for the BitLocker again, but yeah, let's see. And apparently, as it turns out, no, I don't have to enable the BitLocker encryption again. It's just, yeah, maybe it's based on a checksum or something, so if all the settings are exactly the same, then for some reason you don't have to unlock it again. And one thing I did forget to show from the last clips is that it is running at 5600 megahertz. So of course the old RAM was running at 5600, and then I made sure to buy the same speed of RAM. I haven't actually looked at the latency if that's the same, but yeah, the most important part is that when I see it's actually running at the rated speed. There isn't any XMP or anything, it's just, yeah, that's how it's running. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I managed to upgrade my laptop from 16 gigabytes to 64 gigabytes. Found a great deal on a sports website, and yeah, the interesting thing is, from the screenshots I showed you, the prices have actually gone up since I purchased the RAM. So when I purchased it, you could get one 32 gigabyte stick for 2200, and now I believe it's up to 3000 kroners. But it's definitely an unexpected place to find a great deal on RAM. And again, I believe it's just like a catalog error or something, because I can't really figure out why they would have it that cheap. They did remove the specific SKU that I bought from their website, so it's no longer available, because maybe they realized how cheap it was. I don't know why they confirmed my order. So maybe they had some old stock. I don't know why they would stock this. I don't really get it, but it might be a great source to find other great deals. Look in not like tech stores, and look in unexpected places, like maybe you will find RAM in the grocery store, who knows. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did, because I got a great deal and an upgrade in my laptop. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to leave a like down below, and while you're down there, you can also leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. And then I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.